Episode 8 of Landman has just been released, and judging by that ending, a storm is most definitely on the way to Tommy and Monty's front door. With the National Guard making their presence known on the land that the cartel were also using to transport their product, somebody got caught in a bogey strike, and with a member of the cartel being killed, they're now going to be seeking out blood for revenge. With Monty's health also deteriorating and Tommy being stuck in between a rock and a hard place with Cooper and Ariana and also Rebecca. Let's dive into this episode and break down all that there was to take away from it. Here is Landman Episode 8, Ending Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The ending explained. With regards to the ending of this episode, we saw that the very thing that was mentioned in the opening part of Episode 8 ended up happening. Monty went to the governor with the hopes of getting the National Guard to make their presence known on the land. This was so that it would deter the cartel from carrying out their business there and feeling like they could threaten Tommy and the crew and just keep getting away with it. There was never any damage or killing that was supposed to take place. It was only supposed to be training on site on land that they didn't think anybody would necessarily be occupying at that time. Right at the end of the episode, we saw that the military were on the land, and so were the cartel as they were doing a pickup. However, they didn't realize what was about to happen. They met with the transporter and they were collecting their product, and just like what happened in the first episode of the series, an explosion ended up taking place and it destroyed the van, some of the product, and a member of the cartel. We saw what happened following the explosion in the first episode. It caused all of the drama that we're now seeing unfold at the moment between the two sides. It caused the cartel to start demanding money and feeling as if they needed to be paid by Monty. The incident that took place in the first episode was an accident, yet there was still the prospect of violence and fear being inflicted. The shots that were fired in this episode were definitely an accident, as they didn't intend on killing anybody. But I don't think the cartel will see it like that. They might feel as though Tommy and Monty have now gone down a route of aggression, and that will only be met with more violence on their side. Especially following one of their own men now being killed. It's now become personal, something that it wasn't before. With it now becoming personal, I think that's going to be something that will connect to Ainsley, and the fact that Tommy was being watched when he caught her with Ryder in episode 7. They now know that Tommy has a daughter that he cares about, and I believe they're going to use her as leverage in order to get the money that they feel that they're owed for the loss of product and also now the loss of life. Tommy has one son causing him problems with Monty due to him getting Ariana a larger settlement, and that also causing the threat of Rebecca looking like she's going to go after him, and he could now also have his daughter's life being in the hands of people that they feel he's wronged. So Tommy's life is about to get a whole lot more stressful than what he already feels like it is. The explosion killing a cartel member was also perfectly timed to occur in episode 8, because this pretty much marks the beginning of the end of the show, as we're set to head into the penultimate episode of season 1. Cooper and Ariana. I'm really enjoying watching these two characters on screen together, especially Cooper. I feel like the performance of the character is so strong, and I'm really impressed with Jacob Lofland. Rebecca tried to threaten Cooper in this episode by saying that she'd go after him and make it look like he deliberately caused the explosion to kill the Medinas so that he could cozy up with Ariana if he didn't advise her to sign. This was something that could be positioned in that way because he ran away from them before the explosion happened. He was the only survivor, and also he was now in a relationship with LVO's wife. That also paired with the fact that it was a pump jack that exploded, something that's said to be extremely reliable and would need the knowledge and skills of a petroleum engineer to cause one to explode, something that Cooper was only 2 months away from completing a degree of. It meant that it wasn't looking good for him, and there was an argument that could land him with criminal charges. However, we saw that he didn't let the threat weigh on him, and he still set out to do the right thing. He didn't want Ariana to agree to the smaller settlement, and he instead demanded that Ariana and the rest of the family members get $1 million each, something that he actually managed to persuade Rebecca and Monty to do. This showed us that Cooper wasn't in fact just a worm, and the dream that he had of one day running his own firm was actually there. He was a knowledgeable guy, and in this instance it was the first time we've seen it being expressed. This left Rebecca feeling like she'd lost, a feeling that she doesn't often get to experience, and it meant that she could still look to go after Cooper in order to fix her ego. Cooper and Ariana don't quite know how to feel about each other yet, but I definitely think that it is genuine between them. Tommy insinuated that she could have been using Cooper, but we saw her defend herself in a way that Tommy respected, and I feel we will see the both of them getting closer before the season draws to a close. I do wonder if Cooper is going to have that legal battle going after him with Rebecca though. I feel like he just might. Tommy Norris and Monty. Tommy and Monty had similar arcs in this episode in terms of stress being the very thing that was at their core and the emotion that they were feeling most. Monty ended up having a heart attack when he was in his car, his 5th one, which I was shocked to hear. And right at the end of the episode, when Tommy threatened Rebecca to stay away from his son, he was in the car just like Monty was, in an extremely stressed out state, even hanging up the phone on Angela because he couldn't deal with the way that she was acting. The thing is, I feel like Tommy's life is only going to get even more stressful with the Cartel member being killed and the delivery of their product being disrupted. There was a line that the governor said when he was speaking with Monty, and he said that he felt as though God knew before the moment we were born when we'd live out our last day, and that we were all just actors in a large play. I think there is a death that's on the horizon, whether that be Monty, Ainsley, or Tommy. I feel like those are the 3 individuals that are most likely to face death. If Ainsley died after being kidnapped by the Cartel, I think that would be the most interesting one, because it would change the character of Tommy forever. We know that he loves his daughter dearly, and he's protective of her, as we've seen when she's with Ryder. Tommy didn't actually want her to stay and live with him there, because he knew that it could be a dangerous business for her to be around. So if she does end up dying because of the Cartel, he may end up feeling a level of responsibility for that. My review of the episode. I thought this was a good episode of the show. Again, like last week, it wasn't the most eventful one of the season, but I feel this one did have more going on for it when compared to episode 7. Seeing Rebecca's change of heart and mind and going more aggressive is something that's going to carry through to the finale. She has a bruised ego and she's somebody that clearly doesn't like to lose. So I feel she's 100% going to go on the offensive in order to put the blame on Cooper, even if it means Tommy is going to end up going after her. One part of the show that I really do find pointless is Angela. Her story arc genuinely has nothing going for it, and if she was removed from the show, I don't think it would make a difference. She's literally just wandering around without purpose trying to fill her day. And now she just seems to be taking old folks out of their residential home and getting them drunk and treating it like a party bus. It's probably the most unrealistic thing about the show, and it does just feel like a bit of filler. But I suppose with Ainsley getting her own story with Ryder and it seeming like she's going to be heavily involved in the wider plot, they had to have Angela do something. As I said before, Cooper is definitely becoming my favourite actor in the show. His delivery of the character is so convincing and he just seems like a likeable guy. Billy Bob Thornton is also my favourite as well. The confidence and charisma that Tommy Norris has is humorous, yet also infectious when watching the show. The songs that played in this episode were also really strong too. I find myself every week loving the music that they play and searching them up after because they just capture the mood and environment so well. We've only got 2 episodes left of season 1, and by the way that the story's going, I feel like we've got 2 of the best episodes on the horizon, so I can't wait to see how the show's going to build towards the finale. So, there you have it, Landman episode 8, Ending Explained. If you want to see more episodes of Landman being broken down, then click on the card in the top corner, or alternatively you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. What did you think of this week's episode? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for tuning into the video and I'll see you in the next one.